SiSePuede is just what State Representative Rick Noriega plans to do. He says somehow the state has gotten residency mixed up with immigration status.
The problem is that we have a fabricated barrier in the system for kids who, for all other purposes, meet the residency requirement and in the statute, and there's been a misrepresentation of what the statute actually says and what is being applied by the schools and universities.
In fact, Noriega has sent a letter to the chairman of the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board urging him to reconsider the rules the board uses to implement state law. The suggested change would allow those who have applied for permanent residency to meet the in-state requirements. The chairman has agreed to put the item on the agenda for the board's July meeting, meaning there is hope for the fall semester. Regardless, there will be several bills advanced to the next session of the legislature. Noriega says some will be extreme, but he thinks a moderate compromise will have a good chance of passing. He's optimistic because he says it just makes good economic sense.
That we have already contributed as taxpayers to their public education. Based on Supreme Court rulings, we have to educate everyone. So we as taxpayers have already paid for their public education. But then at the same time we say, yeah, you can do up to high school, but we want to make it more difficult for you to go to college. It just doesn't pass the Make Sense test. Right now we are having to lure persons from all over the world to fill jobs and skills locally that we can't fill. The demand is so high for those kinds of skills and education, levels of education, that we have to go outside the state and around the world to try and locate these people to do the job. Yet we have a pool of persons here locally and in the state that we're not allowing artificially to go on to higher education. And so we need to, I mean, we're cutting off our nose to spite our face in some instances. And this is one of those from a public policy perspective. And if we expect Houston and Texas to continue to be competitive internationally, then we have to be proactive about how we are educating our workforce. The partnership and others say the workforce development and education are perhaps the most critical issues for us to continue our economic growth and going forward. And here is a perfect example, an absolute perfect example of how we can impact through public policy and help ourselves out.